This video is going to review using the Adobe Fillable Forms on the iPad for run reports and our run sheet. This will also transfer over from the iPads to the station computers, and they can be printed off from there. We'll also, towards the end of the video, we'll look at that as well. But we're going to start with the iPad. So any of the iPads and any of the trucks have this information on them. The first thing you'll do to initiate the forms is you'll click on one of the Adobe icons. So there's one down here in the tray at the bottom. Currently, if there is not an icon down here, there's a matching one up above, and you can just click on either one to get started. So if I click on the icon, it's going to open Adobe Acrobat. If it doesn't pop up on the screen where you see the run reports, the equipment checklists, what you can do is click on the drop box on the side over here, and it will bring up the folders with all the information. So all you need to do is click on where it says run reports. I'm going to open that, and it's going to open up a screen that shows you a template of the run report. So depending on what report you need, if it's a structure fire, a non-structure fire, or I've put 4 vehicles in here. That way, if there's more than one vehicle on the scene, you don't have to try to figure out how to make a copy or anything like that. So let's just use a vehicle accident. Those are probably the most common. So again, all I need to do is click on it by touching vehicle accident on the iPad. It'll open up the Adobe form. Um, everything is touch. You don't need to have a Apple Pencil or anything to write with. So you just start at the top and it says scene address. Just by simply touching one of the boxes, I touch street address, it puts a check mark in the box. This will allow me to check multiple boxes, so I can check all of them. And to turn them off or take the checkbox out of the box, I just simply touch the box again and it removes the check mark. So I'm going to put street address, and then down at the bottom I just simply click in the blue box that says address, and I can type in an address. And when I'm done with that, I just simply touch where it says city or zip code, and I can type in the city or the zip code. On the right side, if I want to get rid of the keyboard, there's 2 ways to do it. Down here at the bottom right corner, I can click this button that has a keyboard with a down symbol, and it'll push the keyboard back down. I can also click done. Both of them essentially do the same thing. So I've clicked done. I can now just scroll like I would on the iPad, and at any point. Did we have mutual aid given or received? There's nothing, so I'm not going to put anything. Property use, roadway, residential street, highway. So again, I'm not going to go through the whole form, but I can just simply tap to put a check mark in, and again, click with my finger where it says other, and I can put a note. A review, if I want to see the whole form, get a little better view without the keyboard being in the way, I can either click done, or I can click the icon or the keyboard at the bottom. As I go down this, I can fill all the information in. I can put in the person that's completing the report. To get out, there is no save button. At the top left corner, there's a back arrow. Anytime you do anything in the form, it's automatically saving. So to get out and save it, if I'm going to go do a second vehicle, or if I want to start the run report, or if I'm just done, this is the only thing I'm going to do, I'm just simply going to click with my finger up on this back arrow. And when I click, if you watch, you'll see when I go back, it'll actually show a circle like it's saving the file over here. So you'll see it's syncing this information back up to the cloud. If you want, there's also a run sheet in here we're doing our run sheets electronically as well. So if you want to fill this out in the field, or again, when we go to the desktop of the computers, LVFD1 user, LVFD2 user that are in the radio room, there's a place to get to these files, and you'll go right to the ones that are on the iPads. So if I click on Run Sheet, it is just our electronic run sheet. So the incident date, the incident number, you may not have that in the field. You don't have to fill that in on the iPad. There will be a list of incident numbers next to the desk in the radio room. And what we'll do is we'll have the incident number, and when that incident is, we'll write a date next to the number of that incident. And then when you come back in and you're doing the next report, you'll just look at that paper, find the number with the next number without a date, and that will be your incident number. So that's how we're going to do that, since we won't have pre-printed incident forms with the numbers on them. And then everything else is exactly the same. So the nature of the incident, brief description, what we did. Again, by just simply clicking in any of the boxes, it allows me to put a description. So I can say smell of smoke. And in the description, you know, home owner smelled smoke. Oops. Smoke in kitchen. And you'll also see as I'm going through, it's trying to spell correct. And if it comes up part ways, if I start typing it and I'm spelling it correctly, it'll come up. I can actually click on kitchen and it'll complete it for me. And again, review, done, or keyboard down to move that out of the way. And I can scroll down, and the check boxes down by names work exactly the same way. I can click the boxes for each person that was on the run. It won't automatically total the number of people. I have to actually tap in that box, and I can put the number of people, and then I can put the officer in charge. So again, as a review, it works the same way as the other form. There's no save. When I'm done filling as much information out as I want, I can click the back arrow. And again, you'll see the little circle, meaning it's syncing up. And that essentially, in a nutshell, is the run reports, how to complete them using the iPad. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over and show you how these sync back over to the Dropbox. So when you come back from the run, you'll go into the station computer, you'll log in as usual, and then you're going to see here where those end up on the station computer. So now looking at the LVFD1 user profile that you would be sitting down in front of at the station computer. There is a couple files up here that are basically 3 files that I organized and put in one area that are used for the runs. So we have our run report, which is going to be our scanned report. That's where our scan goes, or our run report scan, excuse me. If we have pictures, again, that's a different video, but the pictures would download into here once you open Dropbox in the station where the iPad has accessibility to the Wi-Fi. They'll download. And then our run report templates. So to get to those reports that we started to fill out or completed on the iPad, we're going to open up the run report templates. And this is a shortcut to the exact same place that we were on the iPad. So just to show you, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to click on the Run Sheet 2020. And there's my information. So my smell of smoke, homeowner smelled smoke in the kitchen, and the information that I typed in on the form on the iPad. At this point, unless I want to add more information, which I can, if you'll see my cursor is at the incident date, I can click incident date and I can add an incident date. The format needs to be 2-month, 2-digit month, 2-digit day, and the 4-digit year. Again, I may not know the incident number when I'm out in the field, so when I get back, I can add that by simply clicking in that. I also can change anything that I had. So if I wanted to add more to my note, if I wanted to change something that I had originally put in there that didn't make sense, I can fill in who is driving the trucks. And obviously, you probably won't know this until we get back, but if someone put fuel in and the ending mileages in the vehicles, we can put in. This is optional. We're still going to write it in the book, but this is something that eventually we'll try to capture as much information in one place as we can. Again, I've got my people down here. We can make sure that we've got everybody accounted for and make sure my number totals correctly, and we have our officer in charge. Once the form is completely filled out and you feel comfortable that everything's there and I'm ready to print it, you just simply go back up to the top and we're going to go to File and we're going to go to Print. At this point, the print box will pop up. I would print out the report, and then I could use that to put with my timesheet that I printed from the dispatch. So I'm not going to hit print, but I would hit print, and then it would print it. Once I'm sure, and again, I need to make sure that it printed. I need to make sure my information is right, maybe even wait till it prints, take a look at it, make sure that it printed correctly, it wasn't out of ink or something along those lines. Once I'm done and I'm sure that I'm completely ready to go, there's a button at the top that says Clear Report. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click that and all the information goes away. There's no undo. So once I click Clear Report, it's the point of no return. So make sure that if you're clicking this, you're sure that it's printed and everything is done. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. Once I do that, this is now a report that's ready to go for the next incident. The only thing I then need to do is go up and click the Save Disk up here. I need to save this as a blank template. Because again, like I said, when we were on the iPad, as we're making changes, once we go out, it makes an automatic save. If I type something in, I'm just going to put the date back in here for a quick second. And once I type that and I move to a different location on the form, you'll notice the disk lit back up. So it's now blue, it's not grayed out. If you happen to clear the form and you say, okay, I'm ready, I'm going to go out, and you try to leave, it's going to remind you, hey, you made changes. So did you mean to make changes? Yes, I meant to. I want to save the blank form. And it takes me out. Let's go into the accident. So same thing here. I can come in, and by looking, I can scroll down through. Did I have all the information that I needed? If I need to add information, I can put check boxes in by clicking. I can add information by clicking and putting my cursor there. To add text information, if I had vehicle information that I wanted to put in after the fact, I can put all that information in. If I want to see the whole report as one page, in Adobe, there's an icon at the top that has these arrows. By clicking that icon, you'll see it says Fit Full Page to One View. By clicking that, it puts the whole thing in one view so I can see the whole page at one time. Again, once I get everything completed and I feel confident that that's the information I want on my report, I'm going to go over to File and Print, and the print box will pop up, and I'm going to print that file out. If you want to, there's also a shortcut button here that'll do the same thing by clicking on Print Report. This button only works on the computer. That print button won't do anything by clicking it on the iPad, but on the computer, it'll actually bring up the print box. It's the exact same thing as going File and Print over here. Again, once I'm done, everything is in. I've printed it. I've verified my report printed out. It's correct. I can go ahead and click on Clear Form. And then I'm going to go over and I'm going to click on the disk, and you'll see it goes from blue to gray, meaning it's saved as is. there hasn't been any changes made, and then I can close out, and all the reports are now ready for the next time around. If you have any questions filling out a report, getting the report to work, something you see you want changed, moved, anything like that, please let me know, and we can try to adjust those as necessary.